It's been said that the quality of our life is determined by the quality of our questions. Do you pay attention to the questions that you ask yourself? Well, today we're going to talk about the power of questions. So do you pay attention to your thoughts? You know, we have on average between 10,000 and 60,000 thoughts a day, which means our mind is constantly thinking. There's constantly this chatter going on in our head and this self-talk. So does that have an impact on us? Does our self-talk really matter? Does it make a difference? Does it matter if we pay attention to it or not? Does it matter if we even know what we're thinking? Well, I believe that it does. So let's talk about how our brain works for a minute. There's the conscious and there's the subconscious part of our brain. The conscious part is the part of our brain that questions things, that analyzes things, that makes decisions. The subconscious part of our brain doesn't do that. So the subconscious just accepts what it hears. It accepts the information that it comes into the brain, and then it looks for evidence to support that information. So if that's true, then our self-talk is very important, because whatever we're thinking, our subconscious is noticing that, is receiving that, and it goes into the subconscious part of our brain, and it just accepts it and then looks for evidence to support it. And the thing is, almost anything that we're looking for, if we're not really trying to understand the truthfulness of it or the principle behind it, we can probably find evidence to support it. So if all day long my thoughts are things like, why did I do that? Or I'm not smart enough, or I can't figure this out, or, why did I do this? Or this person did this to me, or whatever those thoughts are going into the subconscious part of our brain. And that influences how we see ourselves and how we see the world. And then every time we have experiences that seem to reinforce or fit that talk, our subconscious will pick up on that, say, yep, that belief is true. Yep, that thought is true. And this all happens without us being aware of it. So it's critically important that we pay attention to our thoughts. But we also know it's really difficult to do, because that's a lot of thoughts in one day. So one tip that you can use to help you become more aware of your thoughts is by just paying attention to your emotions, because our emotions come from our thoughts. So especially if you focus on negative emotions, so anger or sadness or depression, fear, any of those things, if you pay attention to that, then whenever you notice that you're feeling those emotions, then look at what's happening around you. So what's going on in your environment? And then ask yourself, so what am I thinking about everything that's going on? And then you can notice whether the thoughts that you're thinking, are they based on principle or truth, or are they not? Are they victim-based or hero-based? Are they fear-based or from the scarcity paradigm, or love-based in the abundance paradigm? If they are negative, fear-based, of that victim mindset, then that would be a good time to consciously turn those thoughts around and replace them with thoughts based on truth or principle. Now, here's something though that you can do on a conscious level every single day, and that is to begin to pay attention to the questions that you ask yourself, but more than even just pay attention to the ones that are just coming from your subconscious. You can plan the questions that you want to ask yourself. So come up with questions that are empowering, that will give you the answers to the information that you're seeking to help you accomplish and do the things that you want to do in your life. So if you want to earn more money, instead of allowing your subconscious to say things like, I can't afford this, or I don't have enough money, as you're thinking those thoughts and your subconscious just accepts that, then it looks for evidence to reinforce that. So a better question to ask would be to say to yourself, how can I earn more money? Because that question then will go into the subconscious, and the subconscious will now go to work looking for ways that you can earn more money. So whatever problem or challenge that you may be facing in your life, instead of just thinking about all of the ways in which that it is a problem and that you can't figure things out, strategically plan a question or ask a question that will give you the solution or the answer to that problem. So you could ask a question of, what would be the best question to ask myself? Or what would be some of the best questions that I can ask myself? And then one additional thing that may be helpful for you to do is to write those questions down and to have them in front of you so that you can review them throughout the day. And again, the more times that you ask those questions, the more it's going to put that into the subconscious part of your brain. Now, as you're asking, it's also important to listen. And so you may even be able to find times throughout the day where you can ask the question. So the process would be, first of all, ground yourself. So get to a place where you clear your mind and you're in a comfortable position or place, maybe a quiet place or maybe some soft music in the background. But then ask the question and then wait and just pay attention to what thoughts come into your mind. Allow your intuition, allow your subconscious to go to work, and it will pull information that does exist out in the universe, or as Napoleon Hill called it, the ether. So I believe that all knowledge and all information exists, and it's floating around us all of the time, and we just need to put ourselves into a place or a state that we will attract that to us. Here's the other thing that will happen as you begin to ask yourself better questions or empowering questions, and as your subconscious begins to look for answers to those questions. The way our subconscious works is it also creates a filter that filters out all of the irrelevant information and only passes on the relevant information to the conscious part of our brain. So if I'm asking questions about how to solve or accomplish certain things, it will filter out things that don't apply, but it will begin to let in those ideas. Maybe I will, as I'm driving along the street, because I'm asking that question, I may notice something that I never noticed before, because before I started asking the question, that information was filtered out because my brain didn't think that it was relevant. But as I begin to put in there what I'm looking for, it will begin to filter out other information and allow new information in. So our thoughts, our self-talk is very powerful. The questions that we ask ourselves are very important. So I encourage you to try this out, to think about what are the problems or the challenges that you're facing in your life. Come up with questions that would give you solutions, that the answer to those questions would give you solutions to those challenges or problems, and begin to ask yourself those questions and watch and see if you don't begin to have ideas or solutions to those problems come into your mind. When those ideas come, it's important to act on those and to follow through with them. And even if maybe the idea that came didn't solve the problem, it may lead you to another idea that may lead you to another idea, which eventually will give you the solution to your problem. So try this out and see if it works for you and helps you with the challenges and problems that you are facing in your life, and helps to eliminate some of the negative thoughts and self-talk that are just going on in there when you're not paying attention anyway. Thanks for watching today. Share with us some of the experiences that you have as you begin to ask yourself more powerful questions. Make sure that you subscribe to our channel. Visit our website at principlebasedliving.com. And if you're watching this on LinkedIn, be sure and follow me here.